A reunion after many years apart. Some things in life never truly disappear. They only fall silent, step back into the distance, waiting for the day someone calls their name again. That BMW in the forest was one of them. When we first saw it, it no longer looked like a car. Moss covered the windshield like eyes that had been closed for too long. Vines wrapped around the body, as if nature had claimed it as its own. The wheels were buried deep in the soil, unable to turn, unwilling to resist. Everything about it said the same thing: I've been forgotten. And yet, there was a feeling, clear and unmistakably human. It wasn't dead. It felt like someone who had once been deeply important to another person. Someone who had been cared for, trusted, relied upon. Someone who had shared long journeys with another soul. Then, for some reason, time, circumstance, or a painful decision was left behind. We don't know who last drove this car. But we know one thing for certain. Someone once loved it. You don't buy a BMW just to get from point A to point B. You buy it for the feeling behind the wheel, for the solid click of the door closing, for the smooth sound of the engine starting in the early morning, for long drives spent alone with your thoughts, or with someone you once loved sitting beside you. When the stuck door was finally forced open, dust and damp air poured out like sealed memories. The seats were moldy. The headliner sagged. Dry leaves covered the floor. But within that decay were traces of a human presence. A steering wheel worn exactly where hands once rested. A dashboard lightly scratched in familiar places. There may have been late nights. There may have been moments when the car was parked, the engine still running, while someone sat quietly inside, not ready to go home. This car may have been a refuge when the world outside felt too loud. The hood wasn't open to fix anything, only to look. Dust, spider webs, rust, brittle wires, rotten hoses, standing moisture, nothing beautiful. But everything honest, like a person after years of endurance, no longer perfect, yet every crack tells a story. When the car was pulled out of the forest, the wheels didn't turn. It slid across the ground, leaves scattering, mud shifting beneath it. No resistance, no struggle, just a quiet surrender. That moment felt like a reversed goodbye. This time it wasn't being abandoned, it was being taken back. Back at the garage, water poured down its body. Mud washed away. Moss peeled off in heavy sheets, revealing faded paint beneath. No one tried to make it look new. We only wanted to see who it really was. Every rusted bolt was removed, every component laid out on the floor. Corroded hubs, seized brakes, moldy floors, a fuel tank full of sludge. Nothing unexpected. A car left alone for that long is supposed to look like this. And yet, the more we took it apart, the more it felt worth bringing back. Not because of value, but because of memory. When the engine was lifted out of the bay, it didn't feel like a machine. It felt like the heart of someone who had stopped beating long ago, filled with old oil, residue, and rust, but still the same heart. Seals were replaced, gaskets renewed, injectors cleaned, new spark plugs, filters, and hoses installed. Not to make it brand new, but to let it breathe again. The interior was deodorized and cleaned. Not every scar erased, only enough to make the space livable again. Enough for someone to sit inside and feel, I still belong here. Then came the moment when no one spoke. Fuel was poured in. The battery was connected. The key was turned. The engine coughed. Silence. Another attempt. Nothing. And then, it started. Not smooth, not perfect, but alive. The sound of the engine filled the garage like a heartbeat returning. No music. No cheers, just a deep, heavy silence and an overwhelming sense of relief. When the BMW rolled slowly outside, the late afternoon sun touched its body. Not glossy, not polished, just warm. It drove farther away, then stopped. That moment wasn't for us. It was for you, for the one who once drove a car like this, who once held a steering wheel like that, who once treated a car as a companion, a shelter, a chapter of life. If you're watching this and you see yourself in it, then perhaps the past never truly left. It was only waiting to be found again.